I see that you have some weights here.
I do. I have my kettlebells and I'm ready to roll.
I don't want you to strain yourself too much with these. We're going to continue with some of these good whole body movements.
Okay, great.
Like a squat.
Yes.
For this series, we're going to really focus on these big global movement patterns and taking our body through all three motions, so all three planes of motion. So this one we're going to really work on is our frontal plane, or our side-to-side position. So in our golf swing, we do shift our weight side to side. We need that. We got to make sure we control that.
Okay.
So this first series is going to help us, one, move better that way, and then how to control that so we can load and then explode through.
Okay.
So we're going to take our hands overhead. What we're going to do first now is take our right leg, we're going to lunge out the side and reach back to the left. Good. We're really thinking about reaching over that way as far as we can. Really getting a good amount of spine movement here. And really try to push your hip out that way to your right as far as you can go. So we're really working on a lot of good side bend and tilts we'll need in our golf swing. In addition to some good lat stretch, shoulder mobility, some good hips. And you really feel that right side, don't you? Right in your glute. Now we're working on shifting that weight and controlling it over there. So we would target this 10 to 15 reps. And then let's switch to the other side as well. So we're going to take your arms overhead. Yep, this one takes a little coordination as well. So let's bring your arms up first. It's always easier that way.
I'm stuck. Okay, show me.
So arms overhead. And what we're going to do now is we're going to step out to your left and reach to your right.
That's a lot harder.
And so this is what's going on actually more in our impact and follow through position here. So really getting that weight and load to accept through that lead hip. So now this is starting to mimic a little bit of what our spine does somewhat into our impact follow through position with this side bend and that weight shift of going over.
And these are good post-round, pre-round?
These are good for pre-round and just general everyday activity-wise. But this is more dynamic in nature, like we talked about last time, is we really want to focus on these big, powerful, explosive movements to get us ready to warm.
Okay, so I want to incorporate these in my daily routine, right?
Correct. This is great as a warm-up for your time in the gym. This really can gets you fatigued a little bit, gets our heart going, body's loose. Now we're ready to go lift some weights. We're going to work on the opposite direction now in this frontal plane movement. So we're going to start back with our arms overhead again. This time we're going to do an opposite side lunge. So now I'm going to take my right leg, reach it over straight that way. At the same time, I'm going to take my right arm to the side. So I'm going this direction and step back and then reach. Good. So now we're really feeling that good stretch in that left hip area. So you can really feel this stretch all along this whole outside area. Now we're getting back to really mimicking what happens in our hips and what happens in our obliques and sides when we're going through our golf swing. We will want to target 10 to 15 of these per side, and then let's go ahead and switch to the other side after this one. We're going to really emphasize, really push those hips out and reach back, and we can start to see differences between sides as well.
Definitely a stretch. Obliques.
We tend to really ignore exercises in this plane of motion. Usually at the gym, we really focus on going front and back. So we think of our curls, or our squats, or our deadlifts. Everything is in this sagittal plane. Really overlooked area is this frontal plane movement with regards to training.
Okay.
We tend to really focus on this front to back or sagittal plane where we really do a thing of curls or bench press or squats or deadlifts. Everything in this is front to back. But in a golf swing, we have a lot of movement side to side. We don't want to have too much. So this is where we're going to really make sure we have mobility, but also the control and stability so we can be in those positions and not get into these massive slides or sways when we're going into that.
Okay.
So our next progression with these now is a pivot. So we're going to combine the first movement and the second movement together.
Okay.
So this is going to take a lot more coordination than we had earlier. So we're going to do a left-sided pivot. So my left side is the one that's moving, my right side is the one that's staying there. So we're going to go back up with our hands in the air. I'm going to step out to the side with my left, reach my right arms that way, and then to go back and forth. So take your arms the other way. There we go, that, good.
Hey, isn't that how it goes? Hey.
So now, switch your arm direction. There we go. Good. You feel the difference there? It is hey ho. Put your hands in the air. So now we're really integrating a lot more of that balance stability component. Because your left side is moving, but that right side needs to control this motion the entire time.
And how far
You
do
want
I
to try to go
wanna
as far as you can that's comfortable. We're working mobility right now.
So if you're flexible enough, you can do this.
If you're flexible enough, you should be able to drop down. So what we're really targeting is this right side. In this position, this is what happens in our hip, and we're going that way in our golf swing. So for you, your impact follow through. This mimics what happens in your backswing.
Okay.
So ideally, yes, too much flexibility is a bad thing.
Okay.
We want to make sure we have enough, but we need to be able to control it as well. Let's go ahead and do the other side.
Okay, let's see if I can figure the sequence out. I'm doing it wrong.
Oh, perfect. No, that's good. Keep going. Good. So now we can see we're really targeting this left side. So the left side has to work really hard to control this. And we can take away body parts if we want to really emphasize more of our lower half if we want. Hands on your hips. Now we can really focus on a lot more hip and lower leg. Arms to front. It's all movement. Doesn't matter.
Could we add weight?
We could add some weight.
Take us through the next exercise.
So next exercise is now we're going to go into rotation. So it's our transverse plane. So we've already focused on side to side. Golf, as we know, it's all about rotation.
Yes.
This is where we can build on that. So we're going to go into facing forward, arms in front. What we're going to do now is open up our right side, back behind us, and turn as far as we can. So we're going to really think about leading with our toes. Perfect. Then come back. Go ahead and swing your arms as far as you can. Go ahead and bring your left arm across as well. Good. And come back. So the more that you reach with those arms and rotate, we can see we create a lot more motion throughout the system.
And we want a little bend.
We always, yep, we want to have a nice little bend. We never want to lock joints out. So a nice little give. But our focus is really trying to keep this left foot into the ground. Because any limitation in the chain, so tightness in our hip, in our groin, and our quad, can really affect the ankle and really start to see it roll up or down. So we're really working on seeing how your spine and your hip rotate. So we can do 10 to 15 of these in this direction, and then we can also switch to the other side. Perfect. And really emphasize when we're rotating, leading with your toes. You're doing perfect. She's really emphasizing turning from the foot that direction. Last thing we want to do is have our foot pointing one way and keep rotating above. That's how we can injure our back or our knee. Good. So that's our same side rotational lunge. From there, we can build on an opposite side rotational lunge. So we're going to go back to our right leg being the stationary one. Arms in front. What I'm going to do now is just rotate my left side over. And really, with the arms. So now we're working on that internal rotation component. What's going on in your hip? So now we're really working on your internal rotation of your trail hip for you in your golf swing. This is what happens when you go into your backswing right there. Good, perfect. I'm saying really focus on keeping your foot into the ground, not letting that ankle roll in or out. Awesome.
And I can add some light weights.
We can add some light weights as well. We call those drivers. So you're gonna add a little bit of maybe 1 to 2 pounds. That's a way to progress this. We start to make this more into a strength exercise as opposed to a mobility
You
exercise.
said 2 pounds, and I thought about my little kettle.
You want me to go get those for you? You can try those again.
Yes,
Let's test it.
let's incorporate.
Let's test that theory out.
I'll take both.
Oh, both? Okay. I mean, they are really heavy and all. I mean,
If you want to build muscle,
you need to invest in 1 to 2 pound mini kettlebells, apparently. Good.
perfect. Your catch.
Okay. Good catch. And now we're going to do the opposite side.
Oh, okay.
So left leg stays there. You're going to turn your left hip and really think about pointing your right toe to where you want to go. Now this is mimicking what happens in our hip in rotation into your impact follow through. So the more motion we can create through this side for that, the easier it is to get onto that lead side. So you can pivot and post.
So this is the follow through, right?
That is our follow through position, absolutely. Now the way to progress that is to combine those and get back to our pivots.
Okay.
So we can go right leg into the ground stationary, and we'll go opposite side. Now we're combining those two we just did. So open up, rotate across. Good. Yep. Really creating this whole body rotation with this.
I really like these. And these are also really good warm-ups for pre-round, right?
Pre-round warm-up, part of your warm-up in the gym. Just any of those exercises, get your whole body moving and feeling good and ready to go. Especially if you're crunched on time, these are some great ones to really prepare your body to go to that first tee box.
Getting some speed there.
Good.
And then,
And let's do the opposite side. Yeah. Really think about leading with your toes of that right leg, that leg that's moving in this. Perfect. Good. So now we're really targeting when she comes my way, that's what happens in her hip, in her backswing. So we go backswing, follow through. Backswing, follow through. So now she's taking her hip in its full range of rotation that is required for her golf swing.